Write ISO 27002, or as I like to call it, the book nobody bought and everybody needed. Here is the thing. If you are going for ISO 27001 right now, you have probably had that moment. You're staring at Annex A, you have found the control you need, and it says something like, access to information shall be restricted in accordance with the topic-specific policy, and you go, brilliant, thanks, how? And that is the whole video. That is it. That question. How is? What? 27,002 answers, and half the market has never opened it. So let me say the important bit first, because it is the bit people get catastrophically wrong. You cannot be certified against ISO 27002. You cannot. It is not a management system standard. There is no certification scheme. Nobody issues a certificate against it. So when you see a company on LinkedIn saying we are 27,002 certified, what they are actually telling you is that they have never touched either document. Cute though, very confident, wrong, but confident. You certify against ISO 27001. That is the one with the auditable management system, the clauses, the risk process, the whole apparatus. 27,002 is guidance, a code of practice. It is the instruction manual, not the parts list. Now let me place the family quickly, because it helps. ISO 27000 is the vocabulary. It is free. Go and get it. It just tells you what the words mean. ISO 27001 is the certifiable one, the management system. That is the exam you sit. ISO 27002 is this one, the control guidance, the how. And there is ISO 27005 for risk, which is a separate video. Because if I start on risk methodology now, we will be here until Christmas. Okay, so what is actually inside 27002? Same 93 controls as Annex A. Same 4 themes, organizational, which is 37 controls, people, which is 8, physical, which is 14, technological, which is 34, same numbers, same titles, same order. So people look at that and go, well, why do I need both? I have got Annex A, it has the list. Yes, it has the list. Annex A gives you a control title and 1 sentence. That is it. 1 sentence. That is the parts list on the side of the flat pack box. 27002 takes that same control and gives you 3 things, a purpose, which tells you why the control exists and what it is actually trying to achieve. Then guidance, which is the detailed implementation writing, sometimes pages of it. Then other information, the context and the caveats. Plus the 5 attributes for filtering and reporting. So Annex A tells you what. 27002 tells you how. And here's the bit that reframes everything. Because most people have the history backwards. 27002 came first, published in early 2022. It is the one that drove the restructure. The old world was 114 controls across 14 domains. 27002 collapsed that into 93 controls across 4 themes, added the attributes, and introduced the 11 new controls. Then, later that same year, ISO 27001 came out and aligned its Annex A to match. What that means? Annex A is the summary. 27002 is the source document that Annex A is summarizing. You have been treating the abridged version as the real thing. Sound familiar? It should. Almost everybody does it. So let me walk the shape of it, cluster by cluster, so you can feel the difference. And I'm not going to define all 93, because each one gets its own video later, and honestly, if I did that here, you would leave and never come back? Organizational controls, 37 of them. This is your policies, your roles, your supplier relationships, your cloud arrangements, so take something like a 5.7 threat intelligence. Annex A gives you a sentence about collecting and analyzing information about threats. Lovely. Meanwhile, Dave, who is your entire security function and also does the deploys, is sitting there going, from where, how often? What do I do with it? 27002 actually walks you through strategic, tactical, and operational layers of it. That is the difference. People controls only 8, and people skip them because 8 sounds easy. Screening, terms of employment, awareness, disciplinary process, what happens after someone leaves. Small cluster, disproportionate pain when it goes wrong, because this is the cluster where the control is a human being having a bad Tuesday. Physical controls: 14 perimeters, entry, equipment, clear desk, secure disposal, and every SaaS founder tells me, we're cloud, this does not apply. Some of it genuinely does not.
Some of it absolutely does, because your laptops exist, your office exists, and your engineer works from a coffee shop with the screen facing the room. 27002 is where you find out which is which.
Technological controls: 34, the big cluster. Endpoints: privileged access, logging, cryptography, secure development, and the ones people cry about, like A828, secure coding. Annex A gives you a line. 27002 gives you actual practice on planning, on the coding itself, on review, on third-party components. Now, how do you actually use them together? Because this is the practical bit. In clause 6.1.3 of ISO 27001, you determine the controls you need based on your risk treatment. Then you compare that set against Annex A to check you have not missed anything obvious. You build your statement of applicability. Annex A is your completeness check. That is its job. When you sit down on Monday to actually build the thing, that single sentence is useless. So you open 27002 at that exact control number, and you follow the guidance written by people who do this professionally. Parts list, instruction manual, use both. And now the caveat, and this one matters more than everything I have just said. 27002 says should, not shall. That word difference is enormous. It is guidance, not requirement. You do not have to do every single thing in it. You adapt it to your risk, your context, your size. Because here's the other comfortable lie. It is not just the people claiming a fake certificate. It is the people who buy 27002, treat every should as a legal obligation, and then gold plate a 12-person company into a compliance program designed for a bank. 6 months later, everyone hates security. Nobody follows the policies, and the founder is asking whether they can just get a badge from somewhere cheaper. That is not rigor. That is self-harm with a document. Adapt it, scale it, justify what you skip. That is the actual skill. So, the dare. Next time you're stuck on how to implement an Annex A control, and you feel the urge to Google it and land on some vendor blog written to sell you a platform. Stop. Do not do that. Open ISO 27002. Go to that exact control number, go through the purpose, go through the guidance, then decide what fits you and write down why. Do that for 3 controls this week. Just 3. You will never go back to guessing.